Hi, good morning from the Golan. Um, this is going to be the first, hopefully, of a series about prophecy. So this is going to be an intro. I'll let you know about a little bit about who I am. Um, my name is Adam Eliyahu Berkowitz, and even that needs a little bit of an explanation. In America, the Jews, they give a name to their kid, as we all do, and they also give a Hebrew name. So my American English name was Adam. It's still my official name with the Israeli government. But when I was born, they gave me the name Eliyahu, which is Elijah the prophet, which I like. He was described in the Bible as a hairy man with a wide leather belt who told the truth, and I'd like to think I'm channeling a little bit of that. So my name is Adam Eliyahu Berkowitz. I write for BreakingIsraelNews.com. Lovely organization, and the story behind that is great. I'd been living in Israel a bunch of years, and I moved up to the Golan with my family, and I needed to make a living, and I've been working as pretty much blue collar my whole life as a cook. I was a dairy farmer for a stretch. I worked in construction. I've done whatever it took. And I couldn't get a job cooking up here, and I'm a little bit too old to do the construction thing, and I was really desperate for a job, so I started working freelance. And freelance writing is weird. I was actually writing steamy romance novels, which if anyone had seen me, well, that would be the end of the romance, because I'm not exactly your romantic-looking dream guy. So that was okay, but it wasn't steady. But what I did find out was that my dream of being a writer, which I'd been crying my whole life saying, oh, no one will let me write, no one will let me write. The only one stopping me was me, because I had what it took. I had the talent, I had the knowledge, I had whatever it took, and I could write really fast, which is necessary if you ever want to make a living at writing. So I eventually got a job in news, working for a small website, which needed someone who could translate to English from Hebrew, which I'm good at. And then I got a better job. And the job went like this. They hired me freelance, and they said, we'd like you to write articles on prophecy and the Messiah coming. And those were subjects that never really interested me at all. I was like, prophecy, who cares? And Messiah, when it comes, and then I'll worry about it. And Rabbi Tully Weiss, who's the publisher, he said, well, we like your articles, but do you think you can find an article every day about prophecy? And I really needed a job. So I said, oh, of course I can. And inside I'm saying, oh my gosh, there's no way. But 4.5 years later, there have been a total of 2 days when I could not find something compelling happening in the world of prophecy. That in itself is a big surprise. It says an awful lot, meaning if you look for it, it's really there, and I don't think that was always true. Some things have moved forward. I was at Rabbi Yehuda Glick's commemoration for 4 years ago. He was shot at point blank. He was giving a speech, and he was becoming a force in the political world. The force being, we need universal prayer on the Temple Mount. And he was shot by an Arab at point blank. And Rav Yehuda Glick is now a member of Knesset, and he stood up in front of the people 2 weeks ago, and he said, look, when I was shot, there were maybe 7,000 Jews going up to the Temple Mount every year. Last year, there were almost 29,000. Something's shifting. Something's very definitely shifting. When I first started writing, one of my first big stories was a story about the Sanhedrin putting the Pope and Obama on trial, which was certainly something that had to be done, but no one was either crazy enough or had the guts to do, except for my dear friend Rav Hillel Weiss and the other rabbis on the Sanhedrin who they only see God, so they're not afraid of anyone. And they were just a bunch of crazy guys in a small room that no one was listening to. And they did an amazing Creation of the World concert in which we saw Kohanim, priests, on the ramparts next to the Temple Mount, high above us at night, blowing enormous shofarot and wearing the clothes of the Kohanim. It was spectacular. I shivered. It was like seeing the temple in front of my eyes. It's about as close as I think as anyone has ever come today to seeing the temple. And they invited members of foreign governments, who several of whom came. The president of I think it was the president of Guatemala and the emissary, the ambassador of Honduras were there. A delegation from Mexico. They were taking it seriously, and they signed a document saying that they want to accompany Israel on our attempt to bring back the temple. And that wasn't there 4 years ago. So all these things are happening. They're there if you can see them. And because I need a job, I started looking for them. And it changed me. I now look at things in an entirely different way. And I realize that the Mashiach, the Messiah, is really on the way. And I'd like to quote Pastor John Hagee, who I admire. And he said, when the Messiah comes, should it be soon, the only difference between the Jews and Christians is we'll be walking up to him asking him, well, is this the first time or your second time you're here? Because we'll be looking at the same Messiah. And we'll be there together. And when you come right down to it, that's not a really huge difference. I'm very clearly Jewish, and I'm not going to pretend to be anything else. But let's do the work. Let's get him here, and let's stop arguing about that one little detail. And thank God, 4 years later, I'm still working. Made a little niche for myself in a very weird place. And I to be honest, the reason why I'm putting up this video is because I posted a video of mist on the Temple Mount. And I'm not going to make fun of it because it was spectacular. People who didn't look at it and see something special, they didn't see it. It was mist on the Temple Mount, just rising up out of the ground, covering the Temple Mount. Unbelievable! And a lot of people got really turned on to it, and I love it, because these are people who can see it. They're my people. I love it. So a lot of people are into it, and they got into my my YouTube channel. So I'm gonna go with it. Thanks so much.